Hey humans, as promised, let's get weird and macabre at the same time. And so, with that said, before I go into talking about the macabre topic of, cannibalism, I'm going to give you a bit of a quick review of The Conjuring 2. Great acting, great cinematography. I love the special effects. I laughed, didn't get scared. But, so growing up, I was always a fan of Ed and Lorraine Warren ever since my family took us over to Halifax one year, and I stumbled upon a book about ghost stories in this secondhand bookstore, and it contained an account from Ed and Lorraine and the whole Amityville thing. Now, The Conjuring 2 talks about the Enfield poltergeist, which is a controversial one, as a lot of people think it was staged, and the evidence, truthfully, does seem like it could have been, particularly the photographs. But that said, the movie's really good. I did enjoy it. It wasn't scary, but it was good. And I'm really looking forward to the Conjuring 3. That should be interesting to see as well. So back onto the macabre topic of cannibalism. While taboo, it was not always taboo. No, originally it was, well, in some cultures, absolutely normal. In ancient Greece, it was believed that human blood could cure and treat epilepsy. So, if you get a seizure, drink some blood. Other cultures believed in all sorts of stuff relating to it. Some native tribes would consume the flesh and or organs or heart or whatever of the people they've killed. Consume their power. That was part of our history. As was mummia, which is one of my favorite things, honestly. It really is. Okay, so in the medieval ages, going to about the 1800s, there was this product that you could purchase pretty much everywhere called mummia. It was a brown powder, and it was said to be a cure-all. But this powder was actually made from mummies, as in ancient Egyptians who had been mummified and wrapped up. Yeah, they took those and they ground them down to dust and powder, and people ate that. They took it as a supplement, mixed it into water, food, everything. That was for a long time, that was a normal thing. So, eventually, though, it became so popular that the market couldn't keep up with the demand. So people began grave robbing and mummifying freshly dead people, and then grinding that up to sell as mummia. Now, I don't think the information as to exactly how mummies were embalmed was known until I don't know the date. Yeah, husband wouldn't know either. You don't know. When did it doesn't matter. So yeah, they would eventually just dig people up, pay mortuaries, whatever, gravekeepers, get a little extra dough in your pockets, give us a body, we're going to mummify it as best as we can, and that's going to be the new mummy that goes selling around. So people would actually pay money to eat people. And in some cultures, eating people was completely normal. You would consume your dead ones. I mean, it's an effective thing. but it also did lead to certain illnesses. A particular one that stems from the tribe in Papua New Guinea. I think that's the only place that it can be found, is a disease called kuru, which affects your brain, causes you to take it on a different gait, tremors, and a whole bunch of other things, eventually leading up to death, and there is no known cure for it. It's acquired by eating diseased human flesh. And beyond that, there's been some things that I've come across stating that long-term consumption of human flesh can cause various insanity. There's also the whole Wendigo, which is a Native American myth that is sort of to create a sort of like taboo around cannibalism. Basically, it's where someone begins to consume flesh and they just begin to get more and more craving for it, to the point that they become no longer human and they can't stop that hunger. In fact, a lot of undead creatures in mythology all partake in cannibalism in some form or another. You've got ghouls, zombies. They eat human flesh. They were once human too. Technically they still are human, just reanimated. You've got vampires who drink the blood of people to keep themselves young. In fact, that was another belief at one point or another, that blood could keep you young. You get people like Countess Elizabeth Bathory, who, according to history and legend, bathed in the blood of young women. Now, that's debated as to whether it's true or not, but you know, with history, it's hard to tell. We can only go by whatever we have written, and typically it's very one-sided, so. Anything else that I can think about the cannibalism that's fascinating? Yeah, in ancient China, there was a custom where, actually I think I briefly touched on it in a previous video, where if a family member was sick and no other cure would work, well, they would offer up a chunk of their skin, their flesh, a finger, chunk of arm, foot, toe, whatever, as it was somehow believed it would cure them. And I suppose if you want to look at it in a weird context, that you're eating the flesh of your offspring that you created, so it's partly you, that's healthy, so you're consuming that healthiness and taking it. Maybe that's how it was supposed to work. I don't know. But yeah, cannibalism, while taboo, has actually been normalized for a long time in various different aspects of human history. A lot of it relating to medicine. But that, I think, is a topic for another day. With that said, lean out, love and light, stay safe.